Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a bonus full moon for the month of May tarot oracle reading. And Aries, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Aries, we do have a little bit of Aries in us. So if you do have your birth chart done, which house is Aries in for you? That will determine where this energy shows up. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. We're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is representing an energy of pure love, basically. The Queen of Cups is the most loving of all the four queens in the minor arcana, and she is representing, like her cup here is a trophy, and she has a lid on it because it's representing that she is a container for unconditional love. She's most likely to be a traditional, like in a traditional relationship, a traditional marriage, and she also can represent the maternal line. So she could represent your mother, grandmother, great-grandmother down that bloodline. And we have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles, we need to get the underlying energy for the bottom, from the bottom of the deck for the internal forces. I forgot to do that. So the internal forces are what you have control over. So this is coming from inside of you, and you can tell it is because the questions you're asking will be, what if? What if I do this and they do that? What if they do that and I do this? Will it work out? And so the woulda, shoulda, couldas of life. This is talking about walking away from a relationship. It looks like this energy here, we have 8 cups, and there's a gap in between these two and this one. Sometimes this energy can represent that there was a third party reason for this person walking away. But this, when this is either your energy or someone's energy in your life. Now the cups most likely are representing a romantic relationship, but it could be also you're walking away because someone had a third-party relationship, or for some other reason, or they have walked away because of that. So sometimes if the cups are not about romantic love, they can be about someone or someone else you love, and your friends, your family, children, pets, etc. Or it can be about something you love to do or something you love to be. We do have this full moon and new moon in the background here, and I feel this is representing the eclipse season. We went through an eclipse season on February 17th and March 3rd. We had 2 eclipses, and those eclipses, that energy is like potpourri burning on the back burner. It's kind of like it's slowly bubbling away there, and you can smell it, but it's not your number one priority. And so what happens is it's always in the background there, but you aren't really, like, it's not in the front of your thoughts. But if you look back 6 months later after the eclipse season, quite often you'll find that, wow, there's like been a lot of change since 6 months ago. So if you look back at the end of February, beginning of March, this is kind of the energy. It might give you some clarity to this situation. We have, so for the internal forces, you can tell they're internal forces because you're going to be asking what if. And we have the page here to begin with. This is how you identify with yourself. So the page is looking at this pentacle. He's very focused on it. Pentacles and tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. So this is talking, a big part of this, of course, is money. We need money to survive and thrive in the 3D. Having said that, you could have all the money in the world and you're still not living the lifestyle that you want to live. And so this energy is talking about lifestyle. And the pages, in the old days, they would start working for the king and the queen at a young age. Back then, people, the lifespan was like almost like half of what it is now. So they started work early. And when the They would run messages back and forth, communication, run errands within the palace walls. And then when they grew up, if they were still good at it and they, you know, they learned the ropes, they might even be considered for knighthood if they could afford a horse. So when this energy comes in, it's talking about some form of communication coming in. In the old days, it would always be a male, but this could easily be a female in this youthful energy. And also these days, we have so many forms of communication. So this could represent, you know, a telephone call, a text message, maybe a letter or a package in the mail. There could be an email, possibly. This could be you're on social media and you get a message, or you see an event posted and you go to the event, and then lo and behold, you run into the person that's perfect for what you needed to know and the information and communication you needed. It's also a really good idea to take a few moments every day just to find out what's happening at the top of the pyramid in the world, like the world leaders and what's going on there, because whatever's happening with them definitely is going to have an effect on everybody to a varying degree. And we have so this is your how you are identifying with yourself. You're waiting for some information to come in, or you've just received some information about Pentacles. And now we have the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is talking about this person is wanting to expand their horizons. They're standing on the on this horizon and looking out. They're actually on the turret of their castle and overlooking their domain. And they have the globe in their hand. And this is like, I have the world in my hands. But they realize, hey, there's only 5,000 people living where I am. And I need to expand my horizons. And so he's looking out across the water to the other horizon. Sometimes this can actually mean having that you are actually wanting to change location, but sometimes it just means that you're wanting to expand your horizons. And quite often this reminds me of an entrepreneur that maybe has been very successful and you have a really good business going where you are, but you know that you feel like a big fish in a little pond, and you know that to be able to increase, you know, your wealth and get your business going even further, that you're going to have to maybe have a franchise, maybe start a location somewhere else, or maybe branch out into some other way with your business. And if it's not about business, it could be about, the wands represent fire and action. So it could represent having a lot of passion and possibly wanting to expand your, relationship to two people. Like maybe considering starting a family, like getting married, starting a family, that type of energy. We have reconciliation. This is the Six of Cups. So this is a card full of illusions. When we talk about reconciliation, you would automatically think, wow, there must be a need for some sort of forgiveness. And you can forgive someone and never ever reconcile with them. Just because you forgive someone doesn't mean you want to hang out with them anymore or have anything to do with them. Sometimes this card can represent someone coming in from the past, especially from your love life, and wanting another chance, or there's unfinished business, that kind of energy. And this card can also represent some underlying energies from your childhood, where your inner child maybe needs some healing. Sometimes this also could just be like maybe you have a family reunion, or you go home for the holidays and you run into someone that is from your childhood that you haven't seen for years and years, that kind of energy. When we look at this card, at first glance it seems like, hey, there's two children playing together, and they're in the yard playing with these potted flowers. There's someone watching over them in the background here. But then when you look more closely, you realize, hey, that's a gnome, and this is a little lady. And so this little lady, when you look at her from the front, she looks like a younger woman, and when you look at her from the back, she looks like an old hag. And this, she's wearing a white mitt, which is saying she doesn't want to get her hands dirty. And she's like, we don't want your damn flowers. They're not even yours to give away. What are you doing? Get out of here. let's go. And the younger version of herself is explaining herself because she's a people pleaser. And so this is saying, are you still a people pleaser? Are you going to have to explain your moves to someone that you already have, no longer have in your life? And so it's that type of energy. The white flowers are representing innocence in tarot. So these flowers, though, are anything but innocent. They're from the nightshade family, and if a child or a pet were to ingest this, they could become very ill. So you would never let children play with these flowers. This is datra. Datra is also sometimes used by shamans to produce visions in ceremony to heal your inner child. But they know what they're doing, and that's for adults. There's someone in the background here looking over them, and then you realize, no, there isn't. There's someone who's walking away. So all the illusions in this card kind of represent the illusions you might still have from your childhood and possibly need to heal something in your childhood. I feel like it's got to do with your love life maybe, because we have a cup of romance here, and we have this situation here, and we have the Queen of Love. Or Queen of Cups, which is the Queen of Love. We can call it that. And so this is talking about the Knight of Cups, is that knight in shining armor that comes to offer you a cup of love. So this can talk about someone, if you're already in a relationship, wanting to take it to another level. It could also talk about, an actual proposal for marriage. And this is like the knight that you read about in the romance novels and in the movies, the knight in shining armor dressed to the nines. They come in proper because they really do have a solid offer. They do want to offer you a cup of love. And then we have the Chariot. So the Chariot is saying you're on your way, like you're on your spiritual path. And the Chariot is saying that on the spiritual realm, this energy is already happening. It's been arranged from above. And so it's already coming into the third dimensional plane. And you'll notice there's no rains here. It's because you don't require rains, because it's part of God's plan. And so it means you're on your destined path, and the Chariot is already spinning and on the way. And then we have someone who maybe wants to quiet their mind. The swords in tarot represent the element of air, and air it's basically your thoughts. And so this represents your mental intelligence, and the swords also represent your discipline of your mind. And this is saying someone wants to put their mind to rest. He's in a church and he is meditating, praying for some guidance. And when we see this, it brings me back to this energy of this card here. We have the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is developed by the time you're about 6 or 7 years of age. And when you think about it, you probably don't remember anything from when you were a baby, and very little up to about kindergarten age. And so this energy is talking about the subconscious mind, which is formed by the time you're about 6 or 7, as I said, and it is heavily imprinted on us, because when you're a baby, you're like a sponge. You think about how much a baby learns just in the first year alone, and so they really absorb their environment, and it's heavily imprinted on us. So this subconscious mind stays with us well into our adulthood, and it's when we get triggered, that's the mind that we rely on. But when you think about it, you don't remember that much, so you have to rely on other people to tell you, oh, this is what you were like when you were young, when you were a baby, you were like this. And so it's really the thoughts and the environment provided by other people. So when we get triggered, we tend to rely on that mind, but it's not necessarily the most reliable. And then we have the unconscious mind, which is your soul's needs. Now, most people will say, yes, I'm a human being and I have a soul, but from your soul's perspective, you're a soul traveling in a human body, and this is your vehicle for navigating planet Earth and how you're going to get around and learn and do what you need to do. So if the needs of the soul are not being met, the unconscious mind can become very loud and start kind of causing conflict. And then we have your conscious mind. And that's like, I went for groceries yesterday. I bought these 3 items. This is how much money I spent. You have memory of it. You're very conscious of it. And so this is saying this person has hung their 3 minds on the wall, and because they want to put their mind to rest. And the best way to do that is through meditation and prayer. And you have on this window, we have the word PAX on this stained glass window. And PAX, P-A-X, is representing peace. So this person is looking for peace of mind. When you discipline your mind and all 3 of the minds are working together and you plug that energy into your heart, that's when you're going on the chariot. That's following your destined path and following your heart's desires. Your soul is happy, and you're conscious of it, and your unconscious or your subconscious mind goes along with it. So that's kind of basically what meditation and prayer is about, getting in touch with source energy and being able to feel with your heart. The swords are actually logic, and they're double-edged, so there's logic and your intuition. When you use your logic and your intuition together, then you have creative solutions. So that's the internal forces, what we're going through here. So it feels like there's been some sort of upset. And maybe this person, maybe you broke up, or they broke up with you, and you walked away, or they walked away. And maybe this energy now, this could represent your maternal line, or your partner's or ex-partner, whatever it is, maternal line. He might be coming back, or he or she might be coming back in with a cup of love and saying, let's give this another go. And either you've accepted or not accepted, or thinking about it. You want to stay on your destined path, and you said you were done here. People have a tendency to show us who they are the first time around. And so, that would be up to you, but it's something you're going to have to figure out. I feel like that's what you're struggling with in the internal forces. So the external forces, okay. So this is talking about you go and you start to meditate, and then you realize, hey, some of this is coming from my subconscious mind from when I was a child, and I want to heal that part of myself. I feel like that's pretty clear on this one. So after meditating, you realize, okay, I want to go off to calmer shores. I want to get out of the chaotic energy, the volatile emotions, and I want to just take some time to isolate myself to make this decision. And I feel like my inner child needs healing. I think there's something that's happened that's caused me to maybe feel unworthy of love, or, and this could be your partner or ex-partner or you, or both, going on, deciding to take a break from each other and see if you can heal on your own, which is a really good idea to do. And so, and this conveyor is taking you across from the rough water, which represents volatile emotions and chaos, and taking you to calmer waters. And this is so that you can take some time with God, more time, and decide, okay, I need to heal this. I need to heal whatever happened here. And you can see there's an adult and a child here, and there's no baggage. Quite often that represents working on your inner child so that you can make stronger choices for yourself. And generally that has to do with the subconscious mind. And then we have this energy of, okay, this is the external forces. The external forces, you don't have as much control over the external forces. Of course, they're coming from outside of you. And you can tell it's from outside of you, because you won't be saying what if, you'll be saying what the F, EF, external forces. And this is talking about having a very heavy load to carry from forces outside of you. So this could be why this relationship or whatever you walked away from, like, as I said, if it's not a love story for you, it could be walking away from someone else, or a family, or whatever you need to do because of something that's happened, or maybe something you love to be or something you love to do, and maybe you just don't you know, this could be wanting to change occupations even, or you want to move to another part of the world, or whatever this is. But whatever is happening here, it's a heavy load. And so this card has, you know, it can be good and bad. All of the cards in tarot have positive and negative energy attached to them, just depending on how they are in context with the other cards. And so this person has a heavy load, but the wands represent actions that you've taken, and sometimes the actions from other people that affect you. And so this is internal and external forces. And this person is really trying to get this load home, but he can't see how close he is, because he's right up front and close. And you may have heard of that, the saying, can't see the forest because of the trees. And this energy is that, like, what that means is he's so looking so closely at it, like the details, that he can't see the big picture anymore. And he's almost home, like he's maybe 10 minutes from home, but he feels like he's, you know, days away. He's exhausted. And the good news is that this is the fruits of your labor. So when you plant the seeds, you know, for what you want in life, and they grow into these wands, they can be heavy with the fruit that you have manifested. But some of these might actually be burdens that you're carrying for other people. And it's really important, because when this is coming in and you have this Chariot, it's talking about it's time to put those burdens down. Any burdens that don't belong to you, put them down, because that energy is, there's karma coming in quite often with the Chariot. And if it's about something that's happened in your relationship and karma is about to hit, if you're still carrying the burden for other people, you're going to get hit with it also. And it's clear that this load is too heavy for this person. And so you need to find a better way here. And the very first thing you need to do is put down other people's burdens and let them deal with it. Put them down in the field there and say, hey, you know, you can phone them when you get to your home and say, come and pick your burdens up. I left them in the field. And if they pick them up, fine. And if they don't, fine. They'll have to deal with them either way. That's the energy. And this is in your partnerships, commitments, and relationship, like spouse relationship. So there is some sort of energy that's still really heavy from a relationship you have been in. And sometimes I think for some of you, this could represent it could be choosing between work and a loved one. Like maybe you could get a promotion, but you have to move and they don't want to move. It could be that kind of energy. I'm picking that up for some. And it also could be, you know, being maybe having met someone else and saying, I need to break up with you, that kind of energy. At least doing it the right way, you know, that. So sometimes when it comes to this card, the burdens that, you know, something that you feel is a burden now could be like say a house that you purchased like 5 years ago, and you love the house, you got it for a good deal, it's been really good to you, you're happy with it, but now it's holding you back because you want to move, and maybe the market is a bit soft or it needs a little bit of work, and so you have that extra to do so that you can put it on the market and sell it. So it's not a burden as in like it's not an asset anymore. It's a good asset, and it was probably a good investment if you've lived in it for 5 or 6 years. It's probably increased in value. And, you know, so it's not really a burden, but it's burdensome to you because your circumstances have changed. And then we have the Three of Cups. Okay, so this card is talking about the position of transition for you. We have 3 cups here, and these people are toasting, but they're not toasting each other because they're not looking at each other. They're toasting an event that's happened, something that, you know, it's not each other so much that they're toasting, but something that has happened or they caused to happen. And this is quite often represents gossip and slander for me. This isn't my favorite card. The cups represent a lot of the time romantic love. And when I see that card with this position here, this could Stella, you're being really obnoxious. Go away. either come up here and sit on my lap or go. I don't know what her is. I have to apologize. I have construction outside my window here, and I think my mic is doing a pretty good job when I double check the readings, but it's thrown me off schedule, and my cat also. So she doesn't like the noise out there. It's there's big cranes and she's afraid of them, so I apologize for how she's behaving. So the cups here, they are, you know, if this is about romance, a lot of cultures, if you like, is particularly in Europe, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, they'll literally freak out on you because they have a suspicion there that if you don't look someone in the eye, it causes 7 years bad luck in your love life. And that energy, you know, is in your transition. So if there has been a third party, the third party is celebrating because you split up. That's the kind of energy. And maybe there's a lot of gossip, you know, about it. People are talking, that type of energy. So what else is going on in the external forces? Okay, so we've got the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles represents, you know, your ability to really have a really good lifestyle. So the King of Pentacles is someone that, you know, is really admired for their business acumen. Someone, you know, and we have this information about Pentacles coming in. So this is a lot of money. This is generational wealth. And maybe that generational wealth, maybe this is talking about this opportunity possibly that you have somewhere else to be able to achieve this. Like it's a promotion for you, regardless if you're an entrepreneur or you're actually working for someone else. And it's a decision that you need to make. So this can represent the energy quite often of bankers, accountants, you know, financial advisors and wealth planners. This energy, the person would be high up in their, in whatever occupation they're in. So if it was a banker, there would be at least a manager, loans officer, someone with clout. This could also represent, you know, if it's an accountant or financial advisor, insurance salesman, that kind of energy, they might have their own practice, or they could be in a large firm and be a partner. They would be well established. This also can represent entrepreneurs that are very successful. Maybe the head financial advisor of a corporation. It's that type of energy. It has also can be a lot about real estate. The element of the Pentacles is earth, and earth is like land. So this could be a land developer, or, you know, that type of, or someone who's selling real estate. If they're selling real estate, it would be someone that's selling like expensive real estate. And so this is the opportunity is really to expand your lifestyle, but I feel like you probably have to make a change here. And maybe at the same time you found out that your partner was involved with someone else, or you have met someone else and you want to offer them a cup of love and you want to break up. So it's that type of energy. Challenging, but I mean, you have to do what your heart wants, you know, like, and maybe that's why when you get in touch with your heart and realized perhaps the relationship that you've been in has not been an even relationship or that type of energy. This is talking about your higher learning. And now we're talking about your career and reputation. So this energy is a really strange energy. It's this is my shift disturber card. So this is a walking contradiction. There's 2 swords planted here, and then he has these 5 swords here. And he's looking over his shoulder at the past, but he's on tiptoe sneaking into the future and not watching where he's going. This energy, he's not a thief in the night, because if he's stealing these swords, because it's broad daylight and everybody can see him sneaking there. But that can sometimes represent white collar crime, where someone is actually like, say, well, Stella, you bumped the, go on, go on, go on, go away. Thank you. This is talking about someone who is, you know, maybe doing white collar crime if he's a thief. It's someone like that's sitting at their desk and they're in broad daylight and everybody can see them, but maybe don't know what they're up to. I'm talking like money laundering, counterfeit, forgery, identity theft, that type of energy. It's a sneaky energy, and what I really don't like about this energy is the way that this person is holding the swords, because I mean, if he trips and he's not looking where he's going, he easily could. These are really sharp. I mean, he could really, really damage himself. And if he's this dangerous with his own energy, then how would he be with others? And this energy, it's also interesting. This card there's the 7 swords here. And this card can sometimes represent the energy of the 7-year itch. And this is a phenomena that happens when people get divorced or they break up in relationships, it quite often happens in between the 7th and 8th year. And we do have 5 years lined up here, and then 2 and a gap. And this can be that third party energy between the 7th and 8th year. So he might have, this could represent your partner or you having the 7-year itch. And also I was picking up that energy from your, you know, like having a house or something that you would have to sell to be able to move. This energy can also represent, it's funny because statistically, also a person who has a 7-year itch tends to sell real estate, the home that they live in, every 7 years. And then also this can represent changing work. So basically, this could be your energy, but it's in the external forces. So I feel like it's your partner's energy and it's having a huge effect on you. And maybe they want to move and whatever, and you have just received a promotion or something. There's all sorts of variations here. And I'm going to put the rest of the cards down, and then I'll talk about the new moon or the full moon energy and how it's affecting this. Yeah, we have the Fool on a new cycle. I feel like this relationship it's not working the way you want it to. Something has to give here. The Fool energy is talking about, the Fool starts at the 0 point and goes on a brand new cycle. And it's not like they're totally, like they're in an innocent character. Like they've decided to be optimistic, take a leap of faith, and they're going to do what they're going to do in life and make the changes that they need to make. And this energy, the thing is that he does have tattered sleeves. So it means like the Fool's not starting over from scratch. The Fool is taking everything that he's learned from the last cycles he's been on and bringing that into the situation now, using his life experience to make strong decisions. Now, some people might have only one cycle in their whole life. Some people, that's the way they are. And other people might have several cycles, like in a lifetime. And then we have the energy of the 8 of Pentacles. So the 8 of Pentacles, we have, this is representing someone that's making money. This is the only card in the Pentacle of all the Pentacles where the person is actually hammering out a coin. And this can sometimes represent that you're starting a new project, which would make sense here, and you have 1 done and you're working on the 2nd and you have 6 to go. Or someone's been hard at work on something, and this is coming from external forces, and we have 6 pentacles done, working on the 7th, and only 1 to go. So while you're walking away, I feel like when this energy, or why they're walking away, they might be, this sneaky energy can literally be about making money, like counterfeit, forgery, identity theft, like I said, and that the relationship is ending because they've almost managed to get this done. And so I don't like this energy here. It's talking kind of about someone sneaking around behind your back, and maybe with someone else, and maybe trying to even set you up. Or they've been using your money. If you've been wondering, hey, what happened to my money here? That kind of energy. I should have this much money, but I only have this much. Or I'm expecting this money to come in, and it seems like it's not showing up. It's that type of energy. Something's off here. So if your intuition is telling you there's something off, I would listen to it. The full moon on May 1st is actually in Scorpio, and the opposing energy is Taurus. So Taurus, when you look at the horoscope wheel, Scorpio energy is exactly opposite from Taurus. And the sign that's opposite from us, the sun is in Taurus and shining light on the situation. That's God's energy. And the moon is in Scorpio, and this is the hidden secrets and illusions that are happening. Now, the Taurus energy is... it's saying basically that it's about all that is mine, and the Scorpio energy is about all that is yours. So it's that type. Like there's the Taurus sun energy shining light is saying Taurus is actually the toddler of the universe. It's the second sign in the horoscope. So this is talking about the Taurus energy. They care about luxury and material matter. Having said that, they care about feeling safe and having that security. And so it is about material goods, but it's also about personal values. Like Taurus can be very much that way. And they like the comforts, but they want to make sure that everything's done right, because they want to make sure that they're secure. It's very important that's when Tauruses are the most happy, is when they're in that energy. And the Scorpio energy is about destruction of form and, shared assets. This energy is, about change and transformation. And so I feel like this energy is, saying a lot about this situation here. The Aries energy that you're in isn't necessarily affected to the same level as Taurus and Scorpio signs might be, but definitely this moon is shining light on a situation that involves that kind of energy. And so the Taurus energy, the sun shining light, like from the Taurus energy, it's about, the Taurus wants to be happy and just enjoy simple things in life, like just the everyday things. Like they're very loving, and they want to have that, to know that they're secure in their relationship and also in their finances, etc. And the Taurus is, or the Scorpio energy, it's more like the moon is drawing attention to, it's much more complex for the Scorpio energy. They're more like interested in intangibles and in mysteries, and it's that kind of energy. They've got that edge to them. And so this energy is like this energy is more likely to engage in those activities, like, okay, let's see what it's like. Can I do it? Just for the sake, sometimes even of seeing whether they're capable of doing it. And so the full moon right now, what it's mainly reflecting, like, or shining light on is, are you coming together and sharing and collecting with each other? Or are you not sharing? Like, are you sharing with someone outside the relationship? It's kind of that energy, like, how faithful are you to that energy? And so I feel like, Taurus is like, like the energy is like building blocks and wanting to create form, and Scorpio energy is about destroying form. To heck with that. Let's try it this way. It's that kind of energy. So that's how the full moon you might be really feeling that pull. The full moon is on May 1st this year. And so it's, we didn't have like the full moon in The full moon was on the 1st, or was it on the 3rd? It was, I can't remember now, but it was either the 1st or the 3rd of April, and now we have the new one in May. That's why the full moon isn't at the end of the month, it's at the beginning. And so I'm going to clarify this for those of you who want clarification. It's kind of like, it's kind of clear cut, this energy. I feel like there's something that you need to take a look at here, maybe, in this situation. The energy is just not 100% on the up and up, is how I feel. If you're leaving the reading now, please give it a like and comment. I really appreciate it. It helps build my channel. Also, I'm going to now clarify for those who want clarification. So if you want to know more, okay, what's going on here, and I'm going to use my Oracle, Tales from the Vector. I've been working on this since 2007. I'm an artist. I completed 64 paintings in 2020, and I have time now to play with it. And so the card, I'm writing up the information. I have a lot of written information. I have a website, and I have all the paintings on my website, talesfromthevector.com, in a gallery. And so the numbers on the cards that I'm using here represent the painting, the number of the paintings and the information there. So if you want to take a look at that, you can. I'll have it in the description box below. And this information is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And here we go. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is talking about the wheel is starting to turn, and it's turning in your favor. So whatever situation you're in, the light that I feel like, the light that's being shone on it now is really going to empower you. The Aries energy for the entire last month of the whole month of April has been new energy. And the new moon was in your sign. And there's 6 planets had moved into, in a short period, and into the sign of Aries. And one of those is Neptune, which is going to be in your sign now for 14 years. So you're really feeling that energy. And Neptune is kind of our idealism. How do we approach life? It's a little more dreamy. And Aries energy, you know, it can be quite rammy. You think of, the glyph for Aries is the ram. And so sometimes Aries energy can be quite rammy. And you think about a baby coming down the birth canal, it comes down head first. And so that's kind of, that's how Aries are born, and that's the way they stay. So this energy, you know, we went from in Neptune, and Venus was in the sign of Aries for a while there, and that's about love and money. We also had Saturn, which is about responsibility, and that will be in there for about another 2.5 years. And we also have a major event happening in a few days from now, and that is that Uranus, which is another big planet. Interestingly, it's every 7 or 8 years it changes signs, and it moved out of it has moved into the sign of Aries as well, or sorry, into the sign of Gemini from Taurus energy. So this Taurus moon energy is like preparing for Uranus to leave after being there for 8 years and going into Gemini. So there's a lot of change happening anyway. And this moon for you, like you're already dealing with a lot of the energy of having all these planets move into your sign. And so just be really aware. Don't be too impulsive. You want to take a look at, you know, the energy from both sides, and, you know, just make calculated choices, basically. Aries energy, right there, it's showing up. So you're representing yourself here, and I feel this is saying that you're going to do what's best for you. And this energy, if that means that you're the person moving on or whatever, I feel like you've already made that decision and you're sticking to it. Maybe you've done some healing from your childhood now, and you're in a really good place there, because the next card coming out is the Empress energy. And this is the Empress is like a very powerful manifester. She has the qualities of all the 4 queens from the minor arcana rolled into one person. high level of energy. Someone that has been there, done that, has learned a lot from whatever has happened in their life, and they're ready to move in. I feel like if you make the choice to move on in a strong way for you, you are going to, this new cycle, you're going to be in this Empress energy, which is like a very powerful manifester. And if that means maybe that you're leaving a love relationship, I feel like you're kind of in the mood for focusing on your financial end of things anyway, because there's actually way more energy here about pentacles and lifestyle and how you earn your living, etc., than there is about love. Even though we started off like that, it's almost like it ended here before we even put the first card down here, if that makes sense to you. We've got being able to speak your truth, and to yourself first and foremost, and then to others, and do what you feel is the best thing for you and for everybody in the situation. We have the Virgo energy coming in. So this is about that communication and learning how to maybe communicate with your inner child. And so recognizing maybe the things that you've assumed are coming from you were actually coming from outside of you, and what other people thought you should do. And now you're going into this energy where, the Virgo energy is kind of when you have the degree now, and maybe you've been going to school and now you've been offered a really good position and you've worked hard for it, maybe for 4 or 5 years going to school, and you want, maybe you were valedictorian, and now you don't want to make sacrifices right now. You want to work on your career. And so that, I feel like that's kind of the energy that going in. And Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, and Mercury was one of the planets that entered into Aries in the last little while here. So you out of a lot of the signs have experienced almost more change than everybody else, and a lot of people are overwhelmed with the amount of change that's happening. So just take it, easy. The karmic space of ego is like sometimes when we start believing our own press, and we're we get into like what our ego wants, what the material world wants, and we don't consider our spiritual side as much. So you need to consider both. And maybe that's what happened is, your mind, you were in conflict, and now you're not. Now like you've taken the time to reflect on it, and you know what you want. I just want to point out, when the horoscope signs come up in my readings, I'm not talking about a particular person I'm talking about, or an individual. I'm talking about the energy of the sign themselves. And so we can all learn from the Virgo energy. Virgo is very organized, clean cut, get things in order, very much in the energy, that would be beneficial for you. We have the battle star energy. So this is having the courage to stay on your own path through hardship, and sometimes, like when something like this happens, and it's not easy for sure, but when something like that happens, it's happening so that you can see what your heart really wants. And maybe you've been so focused on doing what you feel like you should do in a logical way that you haven't considered maybe that much about your authentic desires coming in from your heart. So it's really good. I mean, it's hard when it happens, but it's better that you do it before you get married, kind of energy, and then you find out, this isn't what I wanted. So this is, again, it's talking when you go in to meditate and pray and ask for guidance. That's when 21 is the World card, and this card represents when the Fool comes to the end of the cycle, and then that new one. So this is representing, this is where the cycle ends, and you've learned everything you can from this experience. Now you have to decide what you're going to do. It's like, okay, it's decision-making time. And then we have, there could be some anger involved here as well. And maybe that's what you were clearing, is some anger from your childhood, and This is something sometimes that is like quite often. Anger is the gift that keeps on giving. So it's kind of like, if your parents are angry, say, and this is featuring your mother's bloodline. So this could be like maybe your mother has anger towards men for whatever, maybe it's for good reason. And her mother's had anger towards men, and she's passed that down to you. If you're a female, or even if you're a male, thinking that women do have that kind of anger towards you. And anger is the gift that keeps on giving, meaning that if, it sticks with you and it's passed down from generation to generation. So you might actually be making this move, and the burdens you're carrying is the burden from your bloodline. And now you're actually breaking a generational curse, so that when you do get the cup of love, it's an authentic one, if that makes any sense to you. And then we have the Sagittarius energy in this energy of your partnerships, commitments, and spouse. And so Sagittarius energy is about being willing to try out new cultures, wanting new experiences. And quite often the Sagittarius will be one of the last people to mature enough to get married. They love their freedom so much that quite often they're not that concerned about being in a committed relationship until they get kind of that out of their system. So if that makes sense to you, we also have, look at that in this whole energy of this moon, like Scorpio moon being about destruction. Okay, let's blow it up and see what happens. It's that kind of energy. And for some people this is progress, and for others it just feels like everything blew up in your face. So this is talking about that energy of the conflict between the moon and the sun energy. And then we have, but when that happens, then you have to, when you put it back together, it's going to be, if you've done your work here, it's going to be in a better way. We have pride coming in here. This is another karmic space. Sometimes our pride will say, well, no, we've put this much energy into this relationship. Like this could actually represent 8 years here. So it's a lot. And there could be other people involved, and maybe you're trying to persuade yourself and others that, hey, you need to stay or you have to stay. But it doesn't feel like it, there could be some underlying energy with this energy here that could be quite challenging as well. There's jealousy involved here. So this is in your career and reputation. Yeah, I feel like maybe you really have an opportunity here that's like really, really an awesome opportunity. And other people, they may not even realize they're doing it, but they might be kind of like, oh, you should stay where you are, and you shouldn't move and everything. And if you've been going to school, say for like maybe to be an accountant or something like that, I mean, you've been working hard and you have the degree. And you're offered like a really good position, of course you're going to want to take it. It's just the way it is, basically. And so this energy is talking about the tower hitting. There we have it. And it does say divorce on here, but this, in my oracle, this is saying the worst, divorce from someone is very challenging, but the worst divorce is from source. So if you're not on your destined path, you've put all this work into it, and maybe your partner has, well, you've been busy doing that, they've been busy doing this. You need to really make strong choices for yourself right now. So and that's when the new cycle starts, when the tower hits. So that's when you're going to have to make the decision. If the tower hasn't hit yet, I feel like there's a tower coming, because the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor, and so we'll see what happens there. Also, the last card we have out here is use your intuition. So the full moon coming up on May 1st is a great time, and it's talking about kind of about this conflict. Like, okay, what am I going? Am I going to do what I feel in my heart I want to do, or am I going to do what my partner wants me to do? and my partner has been doing what they want to do. That's the kind of energy. So it's kind of a one-sided viewpoint I feel here. I do hope this has benefited you. Please do give it a like and comment if it has. And I will be back with another reading for you soon, Aries. If you want to subscribe to the channel, know that you're very welcome, and I would be honored if you did so. So bye for now.